I'm not sure what's going on, but it looks laggy on my end, so I guess we're just gonna be laggy. I started another live and it was also laggy, so I'm not sure if it's my phone or YouTube, but you let me know if this is tolerable. I'm not sure what's happening. Not sure what's happening. But welcome to Saturday. Yes? Yes. Saturday. We're going to have, I think there's just like a little bit of low bit frame or bit rate, whatever you want to call it. It just feels like it's skipping frames for me on my feedback end. It seems like YouTube has been changing their live stream settings. The landing page for setting up a live stream looks different. The procedure is a little bit different, so I feel like they're playing around with shit right now, which is, you do you, girl. But I'm glad that you guys think this looks good. So what we're gonna do is we are going to eat breakfast, we are going to take meds, and then we're going to toast some almonds, oats, and bake some cookies. Today is going to be Eurovision. I'm going to my friend Giannis's house, and we're gonna have a little tiny party get together. I'll bring some wine, I'll bring some cookies, and we're just gonna hang out. So happy Eurovisioning to all those of you who partake in this Christmas for the gays and others. But I feel like most of my gay friends are like the bulk fandom of Eurovision. It's always a delight to participate. I feel honored to be invited every year, and I'm hoping these cookies will come out well, but we'll see. Anyway, let me turn on the oven so we can get cookies baking ASAP. We're gonna do a 350 bake, and I'm going to be using a Silpat because I do not like parchment for cookies. Let me pull up chat so I can see what y'all are saying. I don't celebrate my birthdays. And thank you, Brooke. I appreciate it. I am slowly eating my body weight in almonds, which is fine, I guess. There are worse things to eat body weights in. Hello, Suzuku. Long time no see, friend. I don't celebrate my birthday. I don't know how hard that is to comprehend. I don't celebrate it. I don't celebrate it more than I celebrate any other day. I personally believe that like every day can be a birthday if you want it to be, you know? So, whatever. Also, as someone who was born in another time zone, like literally flip days 12 hours apart from where I currently live, I'm always like, is it my birthday or is it not my birthday? And that's when I realized birthdays are fucking arbitrary, just like everything else. So I stopped celebrating it. Happy first day of your period. Okay. So, oh, guys, I froze some jujubes just to see what they would taste like. They taste delightful. They taste like nougat. It's like chewier. Okay. I made the dough this morning. Here's what it looks like. Jujube sorbet. Interesting. I don't know how fat I want them to be yet. And I think these will spread way more than they spread last time because I used 50% more butter and double the sugar. So that's going to help it spread. Hi, Japan. It is a very soft dough currently. So I'm kind of excited. We'll see. I'm going to bake off one sheet tray first, in case it's a disaster. This is what you get when you're stubborn and don't want to follow a recipe. You just end up with very inconsistent cookies. But I think consistency is overrated if that's not what you're looking for. So I personally have no problem with this way of baking cookies. I like to surprise myself with the outcome every time. I'm only going to do 5 on the sheet tray because I have a feeling they're going to spread really badly, which is fine because this will just be a test batch for me to eat. Chef's treat, as we say in the trade. Okay. Guys, I'm watching myself on feedback on my laptop. I am like very laggy. You guys don't see it? You don't see the lag? Because I see the lag. Hi, Australia. So, I stole a box of raisin bran from Grandma's place today. I saw this on a cart and I was like, you know what? I want it. So I took it. But this raisin bran looks really weird. It's like really light. I don't know why it's so light. It's kind of creeping me out a little bit. The brand is called Hospitality. And I think I'm going to add some cinnamon to it. I'm trying to use up all of my non-burlap and barrel spices because they're the oldest. Yum. Okay. Cinnamon. Great. Love it. And we're going to pour, oh my god, I really wanted like more than, I wanted like 5 times more than what I got out of that box. Oh well, you don't always get what you want. But sometimes, you try. You just bought a bunch of burlap and barrel spices? Nice. I would love to know how you like them when you get them. I'm definitely more a fan of some than others, but on the whole, I would say the quality is quite lovely. Not bad. The raisin bran is not bad. So, as someone from a background of working class parents, well, I would say they're like lower middle class, but also working class. It's hard. For immigrants, it's hard. But whatever you call it, I feel like my parents were pretty low income growing up. For me, the price point of burlap and barrel is like pretty steep. But then I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, a jar runs about $9 to $11. I still have jars from like over a year and a half ago. So if you average it out, I just spent like $27 yesterday eating one meal. It's not that bad, is it? This is very interesting. It's not sogging up the way Kellogg's Raisin Bran usually sogs up for me. The texture is a little bit different. We're gonna go in with cookies. We're gonna bake it for 12 minutes. Anyway, back to my breakfast. And Good morning, June. Any chance your tea is from Swarthmore College? Yes, that is my alma mater. Department of Educational Studies. And we have a Socrates quote in the back. Wisdom begins in wonder. Thank you, Socrates. Hello, Philippines and Denmark. This is definitely purple. Do you see it better now? It's definitely washed out. I mean, I've had it since 2011, so it's purple. It's like a periwinkle, lilac, lavender, whatever you want to call it. Oh my God. Guys, there's plastic on my raisin. Can you see that? This is the shit they be feeding people at the facility, huh? No wonder Grandma complains all the time. I'm here doing quality control on her food. And yes, I will eat the rest of it. And I probably have eaten other pieces of plastic now too. Whoops. Oh well, nothing new. Hello, Emily from London. Well, we're just baking cookies today because I have to go to my friend's by 3, which means I need to leave here by 1:30. And before 1:30, I'm aiming to go to the gym and or do some editing. So this is gonna be a short live. We're just gonna bake cookies and then I'm gonna leave you be. Hello, Malaysia. Hi, Osaka. What a motley crew of internationals today. Melbourne. Oh, Xiaolongbao content? Funny you should say that. I went to brunch with coworkers, ex-coworkers. We had xiaolongbaos. I filmed it, and then my memory card got corrupted, so I lost all of the footage. So it's gonna be a while because now I have PTSD about memory cards being corrupted and losing all of my shit on there. Hello, Williamsburg. I'm very into Italian gelato flavors for sure. I think I've loved every single gelato I had in Italy. Hello, Greece. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say that. Oh God. Thessaloniki? Thessaloniki? That's a fun name. That sounds very cute. I'm very happy that you got beets with leaves. Okay, is it just me or is chat very joyous today? I feel like we set a very joyous tone for Saturday. I'm happy to see this. Oh, the cookies. They be melting into a puddle. Whoops. That's fun. Do you hang out with old crew? What does that mean? Who's old crew? Come out. No, that's the opposite about. Hello, Austria and Washington. Oops. I had the foresight to make some ginger tea last night, so we will drink that with our meds. I think it's okay to take ginger tea with meds, right? It's just ginger and water. Oh yes, it is a tattoo on my belly. I have 4 tattoos on my belly. Would you have been affected by the writer's strike? I don't think so. I think that's a separate shop. That's a separate division of unions. You know what the best thing about baking cookies is? How good your house smells. Oh God. BRB. I also need to bring some meds because I have to take them on a schedule, and if I'm home late, that's going to be a problemo. So we need 2 pills. We're taking 1 now. I have been eating a lot of yogurt. Should I not be eating my yogurt? Oops. I've also been taking my vitamin C and D. Should I not be doing that? Damn, how come they didn't tell me that? Oh, this is a waffle iron that I got from eBay. I'm pretty excited to test it out one day. Do you want to see it? That's what it looks like on the inside. Isn't that cool? It's very old. Hello, Germany. Okay. I also need 2 of these. Has Pepto turned your tongue or poop black yet? I hear that can be a side effect. I guess I see some tint. So maybe. Poop has been really weird on these antibiotics. I've been pooping several times a day. And I'm kind of afraid to eat and go out because the food kind of just like passes through me with incredible speed. And I'm very worried about shitting my pants. So it's rough. It's gonna be rough. It's also gonna be super rough if I have to do multiple rounds of this because the doctor told me that I might have to do multiple rounds of this, that it might not work after just one round of this. So that's gonna suck. Ooh, our cookies are burning. Why are you burning? You're at 350. Guys, I'm not happy with this degree of burn. I guess we're gonna have to lower it. My oven is so not happy with me. Sad oven. Okay, we have toasted almonds. We have gotten the cookies in the oven. I'm going to start trying to make some sourdough happen again because apparently it has good qualities for your gut. So that's what we're starting in this jar, some sourdough starter. 2 more minutes. Yeah, I have an oven thermometer, but I had no idea it was running this hot. I see the lag on your computer, but it doesn't seem to be lagging for me. That is so strange. I want someone who knows more about streaming to tell me what could be going on here. Because that's really weird. Taro waffles? That sounds delightful. I'm very bored. I'm just gonna eat some dried mangoes. Is there anything we can rant about while my cookies burn in the oven? I guess I'll make a protein shake for now. Does TJ sell a taro waffle mix? I really need to finish editing my existing footage so I can do a Trader Joe's haul because I just really want to have an excuse to spend $100 at Trader Joe's. I'm wearing snowflake socks because ironic. I think there might be a little too much butter in the cookies. So there are 2 Trader Joe's in Queens. Neither one is like very close to me. I'm going to pour, actually, you know what, I'm not going to do that because there's alcohol in here and you guys told me not to do alcohol. Never mind, not doing that. Can I have like a sip of alcohol? Is that going to fuck me up? Because I would like to try the red wine that I'm bringing to the Eurovision viewing party. What if I taste it and spit it out? Like a song. Like how the pros do it. I'm very surprised that Trader Joe's hasn't infiltrated Canada yet. I feel like they should. I don't know who the acts are yet. I don't really get into Eurovision until my friend Giannis invites me to go watch the finals, so. You're gonna have to be more specific when you ask me what is that sound, because I have no idea what sound you're asking about. There's the oven beeping. There's the outside. There's my ice shaking. I've not watched Sense8. I'm not gonna watch a show just because they put more people of color and diversity on a show. I have to be interested. Okay. All right. What do we do now? Do we wait for these cookies to cool? Do we fix the batter? I don't know if I can fix this shit, honestly. I mean, what am I saying? I definitely can fix this shit. I don't know if I want to fix this shit. Watching people on the internet get so obsessed with every single detail of my life that you have to know the name of the antibiotic medication that I'm taking. Like it blows my mind. Do you ask your friends this? Like when you go over and you see them take meds, do you ask them exactly what meds they're taking? Internet behavior is fascinating. What is metronidazole used for? What's the name of seaweed crackers that you ate on June 4th, 2009? I mean, you're going to have to dig into the archives for that one. I don't even know if I knew seaweed crackers existed back then. I don't even know who I was in 2009. Not me, that's for sure. A whole different person. I was in sophomore year, going into junior year. No, wait. I was in sophomore year in 2009 in college. That's where I was. What was the movie you mentioned in your last live? The Northman. The Northman. I guess my question about antibiotics and alcohol is more so, I'm not going to take the antibiotic pills themselves with the alcohol. Can I take a sip of alcohol in between my dosages? Is that going to be fucking me up? Yes, it is. It has Sarsgaard in it. Mm-hmm. These cookies are really sad. So sad. But they might be delicious. Interesting. All right. I think this one is an anti-acid, anti-reflux, omeprazole. I have no idea how to say these guys. The other antibiotic is called doxycycline. I have 2 antibiotics instead of 1 because I'm allergic to penicillin, so I had to go on an alternative cocktail. I hate these bottles, they don't close. Oh god. Okay, and then the final one is the one that you mentioned, metronidazole. So these are my 2 antibiotics. You really want to know when and how I started to cook? I think I started to like experiment with trash food in high school when I had an eating disorder. And I was like trying to cook healthy for myself. I think with my obsession with food, it's been a very confusing journey and reason of why I got involved in food. But pretty soon, I feel like food turned into one of the more accessible pleasures of life and joy for me, even though I had a very conflicted relationship with it. So I do find joy in and out, but not always, you know? What do you mean you feel kind of stupid watching some psychological horror movies? Which ones don't you understand? I'm curious to know which ones were hard to understand because now I want to watch them. Turn the cap over? The other side is easier to close? What is this witchery? What? How do you guys know this? How the fuck? You guys are so genius. Life-changing advice, the internet. Wow. Wow. How will I ever thank you for changing my life? Yes, I did watch Titan. I liked it. I really did like Titan. Well, fuck me. I guess I'm the arthritic age now, you know? I've been in the arthritic age for a while now. Hi, Philly. Okay, so Hereditary I'm not gonna watch because it looks terrifying, and The Lighthouse, I could not. I tapped out after like 20 something minutes. I was just like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on, and it is not interesting. So unfortunately, not a fan. Young man, I agree. There should be an app or a website where you can scan the barcode and it'll tell you all the effects of medication, but that would just make life too easy for us, right? We would rather create all these unnecessary things that cost a lot than to invent things that could actually help our lives be streamlined. Want crackers are indeed delightful. I agree. I take antacids and drinking on them causes serious stomach pain. Might not be a good idea, but your body may be different. Okay, so I'm not going to swallow the wine, but I'm gonna take a sip and spit it out, okay? Because I just really want to know what the wine tastes like. I bought it, goddammit. Do you have a favorite brand of peanut butter? Currently, I'm just buying whatever's on sale. I did really like Smucker's, I think. But you should watch my peanut butter taste test that I did for Delish like 2 years ago. It was really fun. There's one that is locally made in the US. Gosh, I can't remember. Oh, I think it's Cozy. Koeze. Their stuff tastes really good. It's a little bit more expensive. Do you regret being so open on the internet? Why? Do you have a reason to make me regret it? Here's the thing. I can be as open as I want to be, but it's what people do with that information that will hurt me. I think, right? So, do I regret being open? No. But will people use the information against me? Possibly. Is it my fault that people use the information against me? I think we live in a culture that will blame me for being so open and dumb or, like simple-minded to reveal so much information, but I don't think I should be responsible for other people misusing information that I freely gave. But unfortunately, our society has a tendency to victim blame. So, food for thought. Food for thought. Yeah, and people do help me. Like, when my mom passed away, I was open about it, and viewers DM'd me to come help me. And they helped me a lot, and they moved me through the grieving process and the cleaning process and the death process. So I've gotten an incredible amount of support from absolute strangers that just boggles my mind. Not to say that people haven't abused me, like, people who rely on me, like I'm their therapist sometimes, or that one guy who came to my mom's house and I offered him to take more stuff, and then he ended up stealing my wallet. Like, that also happened. So there's a mix of people, and I understand that we all have different motivations and reasonings. And I forgot to set a timer for doing what we do, but it's a lottery, right? Hi, UK. Like, all of life, it's a lottery. I don't know how people are gonna react to what I do, and I don't know what I do, how it's gonna affect other people. I just throw it out there, and I hope that people are kind and smart enough to discern for themselves what they can do with it, what they should do with it, what they want to do with it. But like, people get murdered, people get raped, people get robbed, people get hurt for no reason sometimes. Life just happens. Life is chaotic. And so I just have to live, right? Otherwise, if I live in a closeted way, I can do it. A lot of people do live in a closeted way, but it's sort of like a psychological and societal terrorism that happens. I remember the way people reacted after 9/11 hit. We were all so afraid to go out. We were afraid to use the subways, and it really interrupted the flow of our lives, and the psychological terror that seeped into everyone's brain prevented us from doing things. And so I think about that reaction almost every week, about how the repercussions of social punishment causes us to withhold ourselves. And it makes me question whether or not we should actually be withholding ourselves in this way, and for what reason we're withholding ourselves, and what fears come with that baggage of feeling like we owe it to other people to not perform or behave in a certain way. And if that's actually healthy for us in the long term, if that's healthy for me, if that's healthy for you, if that's healthy for all of us, because at the end of the day, like, I am just one person, right? And participating in the union made me realize that, like, most of life, not just labor causes, most of life relies on solidarity. We don't get shit done if we don't have solidarity, and that affects all areas of life. And that's why people want to find a community so much, because you not only feel less alone, but you get support, and you're able to accomplish things together much more easily. And it feels more fulfilling to participate as a group than as an individual. But our society figured this out. And for better or worse, consciously or unconsciously, we have developed in such a way that we have isolated people to be individuals responsible for themselves, with a focus and concentration and emphasis on personal responsibility. And it has made us so sad and lonely and miserable and weak. It has weakened us. And I think capitalism now abuses this. No matter how the origin of this individualism came into place, capitalism has been abusing it for a very long time and continues to abuse it, with the emphasis on personal responsibility to, like, get mental health help, to get therapy. It's just like, okay, but have you thought about how many people can actually afford therapy in this society? Have you thought about the cultural relevancy of therapy? Have you trained therapists properly to actually deal with patients adequately, especially patients who are already on the fringes, and or patients who are, like, already at the edge of their existence, who need a lot more compassion than some of the therapists that I've been with, or, you know, need a lot more guidance than some of the therapists I've been with. Like, mental health help is not the end all be all of personal responsibility, but society cannot address, does not want to address, has not a capability or resource dedicated to addressing all of these bigger issues, because society itself has created all of it. So in order to solve a problem, we must first take responsibility and blame for it. And we are at a stage where we would rather blame the individuals than blame our organizations. So until we get over the fucking societal ego that we're operating under, I don't see anything changing. And I don't know where this rant started, but there it is. Okay, this batch looks way better. Way better. Yes, yes, yes. So my oven is definitely running hot. I probably baked this first batch at 375 actual temp, even though my oven said 350. So yes, definitely get those thermometers. Thank you, Leonora, for that Mayo Clinic Googling. The Korean movie Mother. I've heard great things about it, but Korean movies hit hard. They hit really hard. Beau is Afraid is really confusing to me. I actually read the Wikipedia for it. I think it's meant to be surrealistic, so I totally would understand if you didn't understand it, because I don't know if it was meant to be understood more so than it was meant to be felt. I think a lot of movies are meant to be felt now, because I think this is like part of postmodernism or post-structuralism. Basically, the meaning structure of our world is falling apart, continues to fall apart. We no longer really understand the logic behind a lot of things because they are inherently illogical, and so our art forms also reflect the changing understanding of just how absurd our world is. And so I think it makes sense that a lot of our movies are more absurdity driven now. Okay. Oh, way better. But I think it needs a little more. Maybe I should do it. Okay. Maybe I should bake it at an in-between temperature, like 335. I'll go for 2 more minutes. +1 David Lynch. Yeah, I never got into David Lynch. I really like The Witch. I think that movie is all about atmosphere. It is lit beautifully. Think about movies in the way that I try to encourage people to think about cooking, which is something that one of the first chefs I ever worked with, who was also kind of emotionally abusive, but whatever, she told me to use all my senses when cooking. You hear things, the sounds of the foods change as they cook. You touch things, you taste things, you also smell things. The smells of food change as they morph into one form or another. So when it comes to movies, I also try to appreciate them on so many different levels. The sound design, basically all the categories of the awards show, right? The sound design, the screenplay, the dialogue. Is it good? Is the acting good? The editing, how tightly is it edited? How smooth are the transitions? The lighting, the framing, the composition, the image quality, the image style, the movements, the chemistry between actors, the angles, the sense of morphing time, warping time, how fast time seems to go, how short time seems to go. If they jump between different time plots, is it coherent or is it purposefully incoherent? There's a lot of things to appreciate about film beyond just understanding the plot. So make it as much of a 4-dimensional experience as you can, because not only is it a sensory experience, it can also be a spiritual experience or an emotional experience. So it just depends. And that's why I think different people like different genres because different movies appeal to their lived experiences differently. So. I didn't know you could just read screenplays. Are they available to read? Watermelon has been cut. Grandma, for the most part, likes the watermelon, but she has requested that I trim off all of the white rind because it's very hard for her to eat. And honestly, I kind of lost it on her. I didn't scream at her, but I was just like, Grandma, you can chew around the white rind. Like, I'm already cutting it into cubes for you. You're asking a lot. You're asking for a lot of perfection. And it really tires me out. And I don't know if I want to do this. And she was like, I also had another fight with her today where she kept French toast from yesterday's breakfast, meaning by the time I left, it had been over 24 hours since she was given this French toast, and she hid it in her top drawer. And I went to throw it away, and she screamed after me to not throw it away. Oh my God. So then I was like, in my brain, I was like, June, just let her have the freaking French toast, which, by the way, has now gotten so tough and hardened and dried out that it is way tougher than any watermelon white rind that I have left on her watermelon slices. I took the French toast off the plate so she can't put it back in the desk, and I threw it on her lap, and I said, Grandma, I'll see you tomorrow. And then I walked the fuck out of the room because I was not gonna keep it in any longer if I stayed. So that's how Grandma's going, which is why I don't like being asked how Grandma's going. You can ask it, I can answer it, as I just did, but it just like brings up a lot of feelings of annoyance, of responsibility, of grief, because Grandma always reminds me of Mom's death, obviously, because I wouldn't be taking care of her if Mom didn't die. It triggers a lot of guilt because I feel like I should be nicer to my 95-year-old grandma who's been through a lot of shit, and it triggers a lot of shame. But there it is. I bear it all for the internet to see. Do with that information what you will. No, it's not your fault. Thank you for asking, because it gave me a chance to think through everything and to like trauma dump on you a little bit, and also just to practice letting go of the guilt and shame. I think it's just a situation where none of us have actual control, and it just feels really sad, but we're good. We'll be fine. We will survive this no matter if we want to. I do not hold the internet responsible for being the internet. I understand what the internet is here to be. I accept it. None of us, as I was saying, none of us is perfect. I have seen the new Suspiria. I have not seen the old Suspiria. Would you recommend? Well, that cookie fell apart. I guess that's mine. Honk, honk, honk. Oh, yeah. That cookie is also falling apart. That's also mine. Let me transfer my broken cookies off to a container so I can crumble it on top of my oatmeal that I apparently should not be eating. Let's taste a little bit of this crummy crumb. You're trying to add MSG to your food. Should you use it like salt, if more like, or more like flavor? I would say take a pinch and try out 3 granules on your tongue to know what you're dealing with, compared against a granule of kosher salt or 3 granules of table salt, just so you know what you're dealing with. MSG on its own tasted like sweet melted plastic to me with a hint of salt. I think it binds sweet and savory dishes together really well. I don't think you should use it in all dishes. I don't think it actually improves flavor in all dishes. Like all spices, they all have their place. I'm not saying you can't use it in all places. I'm just saying it's not optimal in all places. And I will get to the rest of your comments, I promise. I just need to get this final batch of cookies in the oven. Ooh, that's a hot lid. Ouch. This is how sticky the dough is. It's just like melting on my hands. But I find that when you have cookie dough that melts on your hands like this is when they spread most optimally. I find that cookie dough that sticks as a solid ball doesn't really bake off very soft and chewy. I think this is like a sugar-butter ratio thing too. So I also just watched Midsommar. I'm going back on some of your comments now. I really did like Midsommar a lot. I think it deals with grief in a very interesting way. I'm very glad that I saw it now, as opposed to when my mom just died. I don't think I would have processed it the same. There is also a time and place for books and movies and music, y'all. Like stuff that you don't like now, you might like later. And also stuff that you used to like, you might not like now. So think about that too, huh? Oh, let me put a timer on here. Cool. Reading your comments now. I will pop it out. Mother is good as well. Okay. I'm an inspiring human? That's what one comment just said. Wow. Thank you. I hope we are all inspiring human. I think we are. I mean, hell, you just changed my life with that bottle opening trick. So thank you. My thought is smaller cookies. I think your thought is right. But I kind of like the crispy edges and the doughy centers, which is why I made them so big. But I think the butter content was like a little too high. And I'm only adding an extra half stick of butter into the recipe today because I was melting the butter in my microwave. And I kid you not, at the very last literal second of the 1 minute melt, it exploded all over my microwave. So at 6:30 in the morning, I was like cleaning out my microwave of bacon, like butter splatter everywhere. And then I was like, okay, it seems like I've lost a lot of butter, so why don't I just plop this remaining half stick in? And that's why I did what I did. But hey, you know. You bake your cookies at 300 for 14 minutes. Yeah, I feel like lower temperatures do encourage spreading, but I also want that crispy, gooey contrast. I am not recreating food from horror movies because binging with Babish, that's his territory. Do you have a favorite movie? It used to be Memento. My first favorite movie used to be Forrest Gump, probably when I was young, because it was so cute and there was a love story, and young Tom Hanks is just a perfect angel. But Memento, I think high school, college era, it was life-changing for me. Very existential one. Now I like a lot more, so I did throw French toast at her. I threw it into her lap, but I did throw it at her. You're not wrong. And she is food insecure. And it doesn't matter, guys. She has packaged bread that's single serving. She has 5 packets. She does not need that French toast, but mentally, she just doesn't want to let it go. So, whatever. Her room is a mess. She complains about gnats all the time. There's like bugs crawling because she's so dirty. She stacks everything. She hoards everything. She puts food in her drawers. She puts food in her bed. She puts food on her desk. I think it's really easy for you to give advice like this, just the way that I gave advice to my mom when my mom was taking care of grandma at home. But until you live it, until you know what exactly her personality and habits are like, it's hard for you to get the full picture. I'm not excusing the fact that I threw French toast at my grandmother, but I am explaining that it is a very frustrating situation for me to go into every day and see the filth that she's living in. Nobody else's room looks like that at the facility. But because of grandma's tendencies and her insecurities and her traumas and her coping mechanisms that she's built up her entire life, this is just the reality that we're living in, and I'm trying to do my best to live it without interrupting my own reality too much and without completely tearing down her reality. It's a fine line to walk. It can drive you nuts. I think towards the end of my life, or Jesus, I think towards the end of my mom's life, she did go nuts a little bit. She even told me she thinks she's going crazy. I did not think it was that serious at that point, but apparently it was, because half a year later she was dead. So, there you have it. Think twice before you give advice to an internet stranger about their own family dynamics. Just because you have your own family dynamics and experience does not mean that it's a one-to-one translation. That's all. So, again, I'm open to feedback, but I'm also going to react to feedback when I get it. It's a two-way street. At least you don't have to peel grapes. Yeah. What time is it in New York? It is currently 11:18 a.m. Hi, Poland. Is there someone who can speak Mandarin to take over your responsibilities? Being responsible hospice care for my late loved one really burnt me out. Too bad, because we're not trained to handle it. Yeah, I can't ask anyone else who lives near me to take on this task. It's just too much of a task to take on. So unfortunately, this is it for now. I think grandma has also had a life where people enabled her because of Chinese cultural traditions. Like, kids are not supposed to lash out at their parents, so, you know, whatever she asked for, my uncle always gave her, and he like took it upon himself to beat himself down to acquiesce to her demands. And so she has a history of knowing that if she keeps asking for shit, it will be given to her. And right now I'm coming in with my foreign American stance of like boundary setting and saying you can't do this, or you can, but the consequence will be I won't want to listen to you anymore, and I won't want to care for you anymore, and I will increase my distance from you if you keep up this behavior. I'm making it very obvious to her that, you know, if she keeps behaving this way, I will simply have to withdraw. So, cookies are oatmeal raisin. Exactly what is tahini? It's like a chili salt, lime flavored chili salt. Burlap and Barrel actually carries one that is black lime chili salt. And TBH, I like it a lot more than tahini. I like to throw it on my plain potato chips. It makes them taste like salt and vinegar with spicy. You found out you can't have onions or garlic. How about mushrooms? How about tomatoes? It is a stovetop waffle maker. Yeah, let me show it off again. I'm really excited to one day experiment with it. I bought it on eBay. I think it was like $38 with shipping because it's really heavy. It's obviously used, but I feel like they just don't make them anymore like this, you know? So, no markings on it as far as I can tell. So it's another mystery waffle iron. Also, Yasha, I appreciate the note you tagged me in. Yeah, I know nobody well, some people mean to offend me, but I know you didn't mean to offend me. I think I'm just reactive because like reading comments sometimes trigger my guilt and shame complexes. And I just want to explain that I understand nobody is responsible for the way I feel things. Nobody is responsible for the way I react to things. Sometimes I'm not even responsible for the way that I react to things because these are reaction, defense, and coping mechanisms that have built up throughout my years of being a human being alive on this really fucked up earth sometimes. So I understand, and I'm working on it in terms of remaining at longer periods of homeostasis emotionally and psychologically, but it is not always easy when life does not meet your expectations, which is why I keep saying I gotta lower my expectations or eliminate them in order to find peace. Man Called Ova. I think I read that one. I think my friend Giannis gave it to me actually, years ago. I don't remember how I feel about it. I don't think I loved it. And I think you are doing something for me just by attending these live streams and being in invisible community with each other, you know? Like, I do these live streams because I think it helps to talk things out, and I think it helps others to hear them being talked out. So this in itself is rewarding enough. You don't have to do anything more than you already are doing. This is the way to find peace. Know that what you are doing is enough. Know that you do not need to do more. Know that everything that exists in this moment is a culmination of everything that came before you, and that you are simply a part of something that will be carried forward into the future that you will not physically be a part of, but materialistically, I feel like you will be there. So feeling lost in that sense of time and space expanding outwards can bring horror, but also peace if you accept it. Aaron loves his new apartment, yeah. Oh, you mean in a week can someone replace you a day or two? I mean, I can just not go for a day or two, but at this point I don't think it's really worth it for me to upset the rhythm I've worked out for grandma, because I think within 1 or 2 weeks of me switching up a routine, she's gonna freak out. I'm gonna have to deal with the aftermath of those freakouts, so I'm just trying to hold steady. I think for me, holding steady in a routine is something that I also personally need in my life too. And I think it's going to bring grandma the most security because she fears change, right? Her daughter just zapped out of existence one day. So I'm trying to make sure that she has constancy in her life. Look at that one. That one has all the raisins. Those are all the bloaty raisins. Wow. Okay, I'm about to hop off the live soon, but I feel like I should try one of these cookies before I go. Now, these raisins have been soaked in alcohol, but I believe they've been mostly baked out. Guys, I'm just gonna eat a cookie, okay? I wasn't really thinking. I made the rum soaked raisins like weeks before I knew I was gonna have antibiotics, so here we go. I approve. The oatmeal is like almost creamy. So there's also wheat flour and almond flour in here. I can read off the amounts if you want before I leave. The raisins are nice and smooth and vanilla-y. Although I don't think I used vanilla in here. I used some homemade cardamom extract. Soaked in brandy. And I also used nutmeg, this cinnamon, and this baking mix. So good. That's actually one of my better oatmeal raisin cookies, I think. So there is no such thing as too much butter. You are absolutely correct. I used to care for my 95-year-old grandma. She told me hell is paved with good intentions when I gave her lifestyle advice. Holy crap, Grandma. That's intense. Hell is paved with good intentions. I guess I've been paving a fuck ton of hell for myself. Wow. Let's also eat some of these burnt crunchies. Mmm. Have you ever had Florentine cookies or lattice cookies? These are basically lattice cookies on the outside. I love cookies where you have like multiple layers of textural sensations. Could have been toasted a little bit longer. Okie doke, guys. Have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and tell me more movie recommendations next time.